Well guys, hope you're well. I'm Dale Spears from Should I Buy That Van, and today we're going to do a video on should you buy a Citroen Dispatch. If you guys could like, share and subscribe to this video, I would really appreciate it. We just come up to 1,000 subscribers, so if you can get me to that mark, I would really appreciate it. So let's get into the video. So should you buy a Citroen Dispatch? This van is across the board. It's 5 different manufacturers use the same engine, gearbox, pretty much the same model. But that's Vauxhall, Citroen, Peugeot, Toyota and Fiat all run pretty much the same van, that being the Peugeot Expert, the Vauxhall Vivaro. So I think, being honest, there's a reason why all 5 manufacturers are running them, and we'll go into that. So this particular model is for sale, is in team with carsandvansuk.co.uk, where this physical van is for sale. But the model we've got behind me is a Citroen Dispatch XS L1 model, 1400, which means it's got the real big payload. So it's got a bigger payload, and it's the 2-litre HDI engine. Across the board, the 2 engines that run is a 1.6 HDI and a 2-litre HDI. A lot of people do prefer that 2-litre HDI just because it's got a little bit more oomph, a little bit more power, and it'll carry the weight a little bit better. The 1.6, personally, I think it's a really good engine. It's still good on fuel. You can average 45, 50 miles per gallon, but your motorway journey is carrying a bit more weight. Naturally, a bigger engine is going to be better. Across, say, miles per gallon across both engines, there's not a massive amount of difference in them. Meaning you could pretty much, if you can get the 2-litre one, you might save might be £5–10 a week difference, but you've got that extra little bit of power, and obviously on the motorway it might perform slightly better at those higher speeds as well. So what we'll do, we'll go to the cab, we'll go into the interior of the vehicle, the sort of specification, what's it like inside. We'll go around the van, and then we're going to do top 5 points on why you might want to look buying them on, and top 5 reasons why you might not. So let's have a look in the cab. We're in the inside of the van now. I think inside I feel a lot more solid. So if you've ever owned one of the old Citroen Dispatches or the Peugeot Expert, one of the main things is always the glove box. So glove boxes would always pretty much fall out. No matter what, pretty much everyone I've ever had, you pull the glove box on it. So I think straight away, compared to the older shape model, inside it's a lot more solid, it's a lot more squared off. This particular model's got the single captain seats. You've got single seats. Most of them do come with the double seat going across the board. Cab-wise, if you just want to show the cab on this side, you've got the touchscreen infotainment system. So depending on your model, you've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you can connect through it. This one's got air conditioning. This one is an Enterprise, so they do different trim levels. So an Enterprise is pretty much a top model. You can get a better one than that, which is a driver, and then the Peugeot changed that to a Peugeot Professional, and then an asphalt model as well. So there is different trim levels across the board, across manufacturers, but this particular one is a Dispatch Enterprise. So you've got aircon standard, electric windows, Bluetooth, you've got that touchscreen we've seen there, you've got the noise cruise control on the side, but definitely come a long way. Definitely feels solid, plastics feel good inside, quite hard wearing. Again, these videos are all about personal preference, so there's something in this video you might not like, or you might personally think, well, I've got mine, you know, it hasn't lasted the age of time, it's done 200,000 miles. This particular model's done 120 and it drives absolutely A1. Again, depends if you looked after it, serviced it, maintained it, but the feel and the driver of it, drives a van that's drove 40–50,000 miles. So I think if you look after anything, they will do the mileage, and they will look after you if you look after them. So let's have a look at the back, let's look at the size of the vehicle, and then we'll go on to some main points about the vehicle, sort of pricing, what you should be looking at if you're looking on the used side, and then any questions or comments, any feedback really in the comments, we'll go from there. So I'm 6, just pushing 6 foot now, and I'm struggling. Well, maybe 5'7", so a little bit shorter. So you can't really stand up in one of these models. This is an XS model, does have the rack in the back. You'll get, I measured this the other day, it's around 2 meters from the, 2.2 for the bulkhead to the rear, but they do use slightly longer models. So this being XS, they then do a medium, and then there's a longer model than that. So there's 3 trim types on the Citroen. The Vivaro is only 2, Peugeot 3, Citroen 3, Vauxhall 2, Toyota 2. So there is slight different, even though it's the same van across the board, there's slight different manufacturers have got different model lengths on that board of it. So this XS model, it's good at sort of all-round size. If you want a van a little bit bigger than a Berlingo, and you don't want to go a massive van, still get the good fuel economy, still get a good payload, this is an ideal size. This particular one's obviously got rack in the size of there. So if you need to get your 8x4 sheets, you do need the long one. You need the long wheelbase to get that 8x4s in. This will not get an 8x4 sheet in straight on there. And obviously, unless you go lower to the bulkhead there, which gives you that extra little bit of length. I've seen people in the past where they do cut the bulkheads open to give you that extra bit of space. So there is ways you can play around with that, but personally, I think it looks nice, all sealed, and keeps you heating in the winter. And if you're in the UK, it's freezing all the time, so you want to keep your heating. We'll go around to the front of the van. We'll have a look at maybe 5 pros of the van. 5 cons, and we'll get an evaluation and finish the video from there. So that's the Citroen Dispatch. I mean, the reason for this video is that I've been in the motor for 10 years. I've sold vans. It's pretty much all I've done. So I try and give as much, ideas and experience in that field as what I can. But it is always based on opinion. So if there's something different or you disagree with, that's what it's all about. It's all about getting feedback from people who own the vans, people who have been running them, driving them, and let's have a look at the longevity and how the vans are lasting in the market currently. But I'd say top 5 points and pros of the van: very good value for money. You can get a lot of van, a lot of spec, aircon, high specifications, cruise control. I think they're full value for money compared to maybe like your Volkswagen or your Ford. So number 2, I'd say your aesthetics. It's a good looking van. It's a modern looking vehicle. It's quite timeless. It's the same model now, pretty much up till now. They haven't pretty much changed it because it does look a modern looking van. If your business is pulling up in this, it looks professional, which is obviously a good point. Number 3 is that the variety. You can get a lot of different sizes, a lot of different options in them, meaning that if you do need that the longer one for the 8x4 sheets, or you need something that's good on fuel, you don't want to go the 2 litre, you don't want to go the 2 litre, maybe the 1.6. There's a lot of different varieties there that you can choose from. Number 4, again, marketability wise, if you're looking at buying one of these in the used market now as well, they're very well known. The Dispatch is a very well known medium-sized van. Again, the old shape, plastics, a little bit nasty, a little bit cheap, but they've definitely come a long, long way. And I think it's the same with the cars. Like anything, as long as you're same with the cars. I think over time now you get to see they're getting better and better over the years. And number 5, I'd say reliability. I mean, people always say the Peugeot engines, diesel engines are reliable. They'll go for years. This is still 120. I've had these vans come in with 400,000 miles, and they will do it. So downsides, again, I mean, a lot of the pros come in on negatives depending on how you look at it. So a downside, I'd say, hasn't got that as build quality as a Ford, meaning Ford feels a little bit more solid, a little bit less plasticky, but leaps and leaps abound. If a Ford's a 9, I'd say this is a 7 or 8, very, very strong. Number 2, they don't do a high roof, so you can't get a high roof model one of these. So you're not going to get one you can stand up in, where the Transit offers that, and the Volkswagen, obviously the Crafters, Sprinters. So you would need to go up to a Citroen Relay or Peugeot Boxer to be able to stand up in one. So there's another downside of it. Number 3, again, the extra short wheelbase model, you can't get those 8x4 sheets in, so go for that bigger model. So that is maybe a downside of it. Number 4, again, maintenance costs are pretty good. So I'd say I'm really struggling now to get 5-point negative things about the van. If you've owned one of these and there's something I'm missing, some downsides or something you think is completely missed the point there, just pop it in the comment section, let us know. Personally, I think overall, if we're going to give this a rating out of 10, I'd say it's a 7, 8 out of 10. A strong contender, medium van, in the medium van size market, because it's good value for money, it looks good, it runs well, and I always say this in every video, if you look after it, it'll look after you as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.